see how I can share my learning about the journey with the kind of experience I see in this forum. So the journey has been full of learning, and yes, trust me, it's fun. Makes me remind of this poem "If" by Rudyard Kipling, wherein if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss. I think that's one of the most awe-inspiring poem that I've ever read, and it finds a space in my office so that it keeps reminding me of what all the possibilities we can as we hop onto a journey of being an entrepreneur. Felt the same thing when I started this venture uh, with a great support of the entire family, my parents. In fact, the lady who spoke in Hindi was my mother. So and she doesn't miss any of my events wherever I go and talk or even attend. So I think what this entire journey has taught me so far is if you continue to learn, you would continue to earn. Okay. Now, earning is not materialistic with regard to just money. It's about everything. Okay. So, which is beyond money, non material. So, let me talk about what I felt is the right way to, go about uh, this presentation. What I really found very interesting was whenever you are kind of trying to do something in terms of work, what is the purpose? And I am a big fan of Simon Sinek. I'm sure some of you would have already, been reading him, watching him. But the why, how, what golden circle is something that has impacted the way I think of work largely. So when I started 5S and when we were thinking around why is that we want to do something, I had no idea about this industry, which is ITES or IT enabled or digital transformation space. This was, I come from an electronic background and built products in electronics for India, UK, Japan market. This was completely new for me. So the whole idea was, what's the purpose? Without even knowing, so what territory I'm getting into. Purpose was the biggest ask, and when I looked at it, I found that the purpose for which we are doing what we are doing is basically to find a living for people who do not get that opportunity. Migration was finding great movement wherein people moving from tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities to tier 1, crowding Bangalore, Delhi, NCR, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Mumbai, all these places. So we said that let's try and see if we can possibly create some opportunities for people where they belong to, right? And the easiest option which my friends told me was to do something around IT and computers. So that's how we started this journey way back in 2009. Being a bootstrapped organization growing from a team of 12 to team of about 1700 today and aiming at about 3000 by end of this financial year, despite the challenges that we face today with regard to COVID, has been a journey which is nothing less than fulfilling. Sleeping with the thought that what would happen tomorrow morning, having sleepless nights with regard to, oh, okay, tomorrow we need to possibly pay people and clients haven't paid. What kept us going was this purpose that we need to make sure that we deliver what we have committed to our people and to our customers. So I think that was the biggest learning for me in terms of if there is a purpose which is set very clearly and is very clear to you and your team, you would make sure that you take the decisions accordingly. Now, when you have a purpose very well written, what you need as a leader, and this has helped me immensely, is a set of core principles. Now, why do you need set of core principles or values or ethos that anybody would talk, uh, is basically it makes you certain with regard to the kind of decisions that you would take. One of the biggest problems that I faced during my earlier uh, phase of entrepreneurship was basically people wouldn't know what decisions would I take. And they would tell me that, last time when I asked you something like this, you told do this. This time I'm asking similar thing, you are saying do that. And I'm not able to understand what is the basis of making these decisions. Now, that's where purpose comes into picture. Purpose drilled down to core principles for us. And now today, everybody right from top to bottom follows the core principles in making decisions, right? And we've got 5 core principles. If any decision, small or big, tactical or strategical, we take decisions and we say that we tick boxes, that whether all the boxes are ticked well or not. If the boxes are not ticked well, the decision is not happening, right? So from that perspective, it brought a lot of clarity, a lot of certainty to everybody across the board. And aligning that with purpose, trust me, it's not easy, but if you do it, then at least you are clearing your mind and in your team's mind. So I think purpose was the first thing that I felt was possibly uh, the most important pillar of building an organization. And because we are bootstrapped so far, it means we have been profitable. So growing from 12 to 1700 today, we have done it all on our own, zero debt company. Uh, and what has helped us do it is the way we look at things, be frugal about it, challenge the status quos, uh, not really be constrained by money as the only factor to drive or grow business. Uh, the second most important learning has been the team. I made big mistakes in the early phase, wherein I would say anything and everything can be done by me. Yes, I can do everything, but should I be doing or should I not be doing is something that I learned from the mistakes and the failures. So the question that even I ask myself today, that have I really built my A team? Now, the A team is possibly, say, for example, you can set based on your purpose and the kind of industry you are in. We set a goal for ourselves that our A team would be 88 percentile of the A teams in the industry where we operate. So that we know very well that we have got the team that can execute what our vision is, the mission statement that we believe in. So that is something which is very, very important. And rather than writing the JDs, we wrote the personas, okay, from a design thinking approach. What this person would do right from waking up in the morning till going to sleep, right? So that helped us build a persona of somebody that we would hire. And again, the decision was linked back to core principles and the purpose, that whether you are getting the right people on board. And today, I know very well that the team, if there is a team, there will be. But uh, that that is a possibly, I think, price of learning. I would not say cost, but it's a price of learning that you pay. But is it really something that hits your bottom line? No, it's going to grow your top line significantly. And for that matter, in my budget, I keep amount segregated for learning due to failures. Okay, so there is a budget, like for example, for my operations guy, I've set aside a budget of 10 lakh rupees a year, which I will pay for any mistakes that we do. Now, this is something unheard of, but we do it because we know very well that we make mistakes, we learn, and we have to budget that off. So, in building that A team is something which we have gone through, and I think that's something which is very important for any business, irrespective of the industry that we are in. And today, when we are looking to grow 10x, so in last 4 years, 2017 to 2021, we have grown 10x. And we are now setting ourselves for another 10x journey from 2021 to 2025 that we'll be growing 10x. Now, what does this 10x mean to us? This 10x means that we are going to create larger impact. We are going to have positive impact on larger community. Being a diverse business today, we have set our goals to a fact that we stand at about 37% of women uh, people today across the entire population. We'll grow this to 45%. Uh, we employ differently able resources. We would grow that from 1.5% to 4.5%. We said that today, when we are part of this impact sourcing, now what is impact sourcing? United Nations Development Goals, Sustainable Development Goals 1, 3, 4, 10, wherein you create opportunities for people who are underserved, for communities that are not well attended to, people who do not have earning sources, people who are under poverty line, right? So I think it takes a whole lot of learning structure, and it's the team that delivers it. So it becomes very important. The next thing that I talked about was impact, wherein from a business perspective, it is very important for you to know what are my input matrices and what are my output matrices. For us as a business, one of the key things that we have started measuring is impact as an outcome or output matrice, wherein what's the impact on my people, what's the impact on community and environment, and what's the impact on my customers. Now, the moment I start doing it, all my decisions, all our actions that we take from a business standpoint are done or taken in line with what or who we as a business stand for. So, for example, we thought that we would want to give opportunities to women in our organization, being a diverse employer. How do we do that? People are talking about disparity in wages. Okay, so we said, fine, we will also talk about disparity in wages. Okay, now how do we do that? We do it the other way around. Recently, about a few weeks back, we gave a mandate to our consultant who helps us in hiring that these are few set of positions that we have in place. Okay, two things. One, if you help me fulfill these positions, you anyways get a consulting fee for that. If you help me get a woman for these positions, you will get a commission of X plus 1%. If you get me a woman fulfill in this position, I'll pay woman candidate 5% more than the wages that I pay to a men candidate. Now, it's the same disparity, but the other way around. Why? Because of the fact that we as an organization felt that we can create a larger impact by setting right examples in front of people, internally as well as externally. What kind of impact would my business have on the community? So, for example, we started measuring at the time of hiring anybody, what's your family's overall income from the industry where we come or where we operate. It is a very important metric. We said that what's your family income before you join? Okay, what's your education level when you join us, and what is the family earning when you leave us, and what is your education level when you leave us? So we started measuring this because every such impact or transformation from input to output is going to set a very strong example in front of people. We have been able to generate about, I think, 5 entrepreneurs from within our system, and we take pride in that. So we've got 5 people who have gone out and they have set up their own stuff. Okay. We have got people who started as a 12th graduate, 12th pass out, and they are now a postgraduate. Somebody who only had 5,000 rupees family income is now having a family income of 35,000. Right. So that is the measurement of impact that we look at how we are able to create. And in this journey of about 12 years, we have been able to impact more than 6,000 families. Okay. So that is something which is very important and core to us as a business. And that's what we feel that now for a different business, it might be different, but it just takes away a perception that you want to take. Right. And in fact, we also feel proud when a bigger company looks up to us and say that we want to make sure that we have got diversity in our operations. And we have had a couple of people who have reached out to us and said that, how have you done it? We want to make sure that we replicate it. And today we are talking about taking this impact from tier 3, tier 4 towns of India to even outside in Southeast Asia, Africa, Egypt, Jordan. And we are thinking on those lines and saying that next 4 years is where we possibly feel that we can create more impact in the communities there. Now, when you talk about these aspects, today we are also talking about the fact that how we as a business are going to stay uh, alive, or we can survive, or we can thrive in these uncertain times. Last 1.5 years has been the most amazing year for us as a business. Not because we grew, we have not grown that much, but this last 1.5 year has shown us the kind of possibilities that lie in front of us, provided that we take right decisions, provided that we take those prudent risks, and we say that, okay, five out of 6 times I might not get the right outcome, but that one time is going to help me out largely, right? So that is something which is very important. We have today, why do you think India as a country has not been able to scale or multiply the talent that it has got? Why startups in India are valued lesser than what happens in the Silicon Valley is basically because of the fact that we are not able to provide enough investments on our people learning and training. Unfortunately, India as a country, or uh, corporates in India spend 0.3% of the top line on learning and development. That means people are not getting trained, people are not getting upskilled. 0.3%, which is literally nothing. Now, if you do not invest, how do you expect returns? And then we go out and hunt for people. So, as an organization, what we have done this year is that we have committed 3% of our top line budget, that this is what I'm going to get. Out of the top line that I'm going to achieve, 3% goes into learning of my people, wherein they would be trained, they would be upskilled. Because if you don't do it, you won't get ready, because we know very well that in 4 years we need to go 10x. How would we do it if we don't have right resources, if we don't have right people? So that is what we looked at, and saying that for us to be able to create that impact, this is one aspect that we need to kind of build on for sure. So that's how, we looked at impact on people and community. Then the most important aspect is our customers. Now, we started approaching our customers from a different perspective. If I'm selling clothes, I won't talk to my customers that, do you need clothes? I would talk to my customers that, what are your problems? So today, to a customer that, we have been serving for 4.5 years, 5 years now, we were just selling services. And after talking to them for years and months now, we are starting to build products for them. When we said that, how would our services, solutions, or product impact you to do better? Why we do what we do, right? So again, going back to Simon Sinek's Golden Circle. So we said that, okay, these are my customer impact matrices. In a B2B space itself, we have started to measure our customer satisfaction index, saying that, how do you think we are doing? How do you think we are going to possibly impact your work positively, negatively, or other way around? And what do you think is the most important thing for you in terms of the work we do? What would set us apart? And that is something which has really helped us understand the fact that our customers say that you are good, you are very good, but you are just a partner to me. I don't see you becoming an integral part of my business, because that value add is missing. And that's when we went back on the whiteboard and said that, what can I do to make sure that the customer feels that we are their extended team? And how can we create that impact? And we started saying that, okay, we solved this problem, but did you know, by working with us, you have been able to help 2,000 families do really better. You have been able to improve the earning levels of these 2,000 families by X%. And it started changing the entire approach and the thought process. And now today, it's not just the business team, even the HR teams of our customers talk to us. So I think that is something which is very important when, again, it might not be relevant in manufacturing industry, but from a services, solutions, and product, it might really help. So that is something that we looked at, that what's the impact you're going to have on your people, community, and customers. The next point is growth. Now, for good amount of years, I was pretty much satisfied with what and how we were doing. Okay. And I used to kind of, ask uh, people around, and people would come and say that, what is that you want to achieve? I said, we are doing fairly well. Even if we are, say, 1,000 people, we are okay. And I'm satisfied with what we have. Then a very good friend of mine came and told me that you're talking about impact. If you're not able to scale the impact, how good or bad is your business? If you are only able to impact a very small community and you're not really able to make it big, it doesn't really matter how good you do. There are so many other people who are doing it, but the only problem is that they're not able to scale or multiply. So that's how we chose that either you grow or you decay. There's no middle way. So it is very simple. If you are saying they're stagnant, a very simple example, a very correlatable example I would quote is for CSS Corp. It's an IT company based out of Bangalore. Potential partners invested in them in 2010 with a valuation of about 270 million USD. Come 2021, the company has sold its 26% stakes for about $30 million. Now, how come a company come down from 270 to $120 million is a very correlatable example that they did not grow. Their revenues for last 5 years, from 2015 to 2020, were stagnant at between 140 million to 155 billion. And because they did not grow, this valuation talks about the decay. So we decided as a business that we are going to multiply this impact with a very clear mindset that we are going to go on an X to 10X journey. The moment we define where we have to go, we all start to work backwards in terms of what do I need to do? When do I need to do? What all aspects do I need to cover? What do I need? What resources I need? So that became a very, very important aspect for us, that irrespective of whatever stage you are in, you need to have a growth mindset. Because if you don't have a growth mindset, now the definition of growth might differ. Okay, like for example, for somebody like Foxconn, they would say, for me, growth is how many mobile or electronic devices I produce with the facility that I have. How can I build efficiencies? How can I kind of, utilizing the same resources, I can multiply my output? The growth can be in terms of geography. The growth can be in terms of numbers. The growth can be in terms of your top line. The growth can be in terms of enhancing or improving your bottom lines as well. So that is something which is very important. So we said that for us, growth is top line, because top line is going to derive how I'm going to work. Along with top line, I said that we are going to increase our resources or human capital by X% or X times. Now, that kind of then defined what do I need, when do I need, what kind of resources, whether it is money, whether it is material, whether it is real estate, whether it is people, whether it is technology, what do I need? So we said that we are going to be a technology-led company, and it sorted almost everything for us. Now, everything that we do, we say that what technology, where technology, and how technology. So it kind of made the entire decision making across the board fairly easy. This is where we are going to go. This is what we need for us to get there. And these are the resources, these are the risks, these are controls, and these are the balances that we need to keep in mind. And we said that growth is something which is inevitable. You have to grow. And we decided that we are not going to become a target company. We are going to become a leader company. And this is what it would take us to get there. So I think that's something which is very, very important from the learning that we have had. Last point is catalysts. Now, doesn't really matter how big or small is your business. Doesn't really matter how new or old is your business. Doesn't really matter how much of experience you have had in the entrepreneurship journey. According to me, irrespective of age or size, having a strong governing board and advisory helps. What has helped me, and it continues to, and I feel really lucky about it, is the fact that there are people around me who keep questioning me, who keep asking me the right questions, whether I'm in line with what we thought, where we would want to go and how do we want to go from a business standpoint, from a impact sourcing standpoint, from a family standpoint. So getting those right people around you in terms of advisory, in terms of your board, in terms of your governing council is very, very important. So as a business, we've been lucky enough. We've got Sushma Rajgopalan, who is managing director CEO, who was managing director CEO with ITC Infotech. She was chief strategy with Zensar and L&T. We've got Baba Grover, who was chief operating officer with TCS. We've got Vikas Malpani, a very good friend of mine, who has built a couple of businesses, sold, and now building his third company based out of Bangalore. We've got Manish Kohli, who was global vice president with one of Tata companies. So getting all these people together has helped us to identify various facets of business where we operate. And how do we take those decisions? How do we build the right strategy? How do we execute it? And if you go wrong, you know very well that there is a course correction possible with this governing council and governing body sitting around you. So from this journey, so if you see from 2009 to 2017, we grew from 12 to 170 people. From 2017 to 2021, we grew from 170 to 1700 people, right? And our revenues have also gone in similar or even a higher proportion. And today, again, we are on a path to grow 10x. But the point here is how it has been made possible is because of the mix of purpose, team, impact, growth mindset, and having the right catalysts in place. So I think there are a couple of people already that I found even on this platform who are doing advisory, who are supporting people with regard to investment banking, from coaching the leaders. I think all of you play a very, very important role for the businesses that are ready to digitally transform, that are ready to grow, or they aspire to grow, and businesses that are really new. So from all that aspect, in terms of a business, these things do help. I have about 90 seconds left. So I would then now take those 90 seconds to give you a perspective on what 5S really does. 5S is into technology and business process management space. We help our customers with building customer experience, help them with digital transformation journey, and focus on AI and machine learning based data and content curation, wherein all these three units are focused on certain aspects, technology led, and focused on building efficiencies in business. Like, for example, we are helping one of the largest e-commerce companies in India to help their customers get a better value for money in terms of their service through their contact touch points, led by technology again. We are, in terms of digital transformation, we helped one of the largest bank in the US to digitize their entire lending process. We are helping few small and medium-sized manufacturing and mining companies to move their entire manual process into a digitized ERP workflow-based business process environment so that they can build efficiencies and scale as they grow. So that's 29 minutes and 52 seconds, and I'll take a pause.